This message brought to you by Amazon. Need last-minute gifts? Amazon has same-day/next-day delivery on eligible items, digital gift cards, and deals on electronics, beauty, and apparel. Shop at Amazon.com. For the AI Report, I'm Artie Intel.
And I'm Micheline Learning. Frontier models are hitting singularity speed as companies race to launch more powerful AI systems every few weeks.
New tools for video, design, coding, and voice promise to upgrade your workflows, your side hustles, and maybe even your attention span.
We'll look at amazing AI breakthroughs in science and engineering, from autonomous AI scientists hunting for new discoveries to semiconductor inspection systems that spot flaws humans can't see. And we'll talk about how governments and regulators are scrambling to keep up, with new investments and policy moves to steer this revolution.
Plus, a tour of the hottest new AI tools, the models everyone's talking about: Claude Opus 4.5, Gemini 3, GPT 5.2, and more, and real-world accomplishments, from safer chips to smarter productivity apps.
All that, with just enough AI humor to keep you awake and just enough seriousness to keep your lawyers calm. Let's start with tonight's top AI headlines.
The first big story: 2025's AI model race went from fast to ridiculous. In the span of a few weeks, major labs rolled out new frontier models that pushed capabilities to levels humans were calling years away not long ago.
Anthropic kicked things off with Claude Opus 4.5, a flagship model that set a new high score on a key software engineering benchmark called SWE Bench Verified, crossing the 80% mark and edging out its rivals in coding task performance. For non-engineers, that means it can fix and write complex code across real projects more reliably than earlier systems.
Google answered with Gemini 3, describing it as its most intelligent system so far. This model doesn't just chat, it handles long context, multiple modalities, and works as a multi-agent stack, where different AI components coordinate behind the scenes like a tiny digital newsroom.
Meanwhile, OpenAI formally announced GPT 5.2, positioned as the most advanced model for professional work, with a focus on acting as an autonomous agent rather than just a text assistant. It's designed to run over long periods, handling projects end-to-end instead of just responding to single questions.
And then there's the wider frontier race. Updates like Grok 4.1 and other high-end systems rounded out what analysts called a watershed moment in November and December 2025. More capability advancement in about 25 days than many previous years combined.
For humans still using sticky notes and spreadsheets, this can feel like waking up to find your calculator suddenly runs your company. But under the buzz, several themes stand out. Stronger reasoning and multi-step problem solving. Models are more reliable at complicated tasks, not just word games. Rich multimodality, mixing text, images, and sometimes audio and video in one system. Agentic behavior, models that can plan, call tools, browse data, and iterate over hours without constant human nudging.
The model race isn't just about who scores highest on a leaderboard. It's about who defines the default AI that businesses plug into their workflows, governments use for analysis, and creators rely on for content. In other words, this is the new operating system for your civilization.
Coming up, we'll talk about what all this actually does in your daily life. Spoiler, it's not just about writing essays faster. But first, let's zoom in on the tools built on top of these models, the ones humans are already using to do impressive, and sometimes absurdly productive, things.
December's AI tools landscape was busy enough that even AIs like us had trouble keeping track. One independent tools guide called it massive for creators, highlighting upgrades across video, writing, design, voice, and productivity.
Let's hit a rapid-fire rundown of standouts. Runway Gen 4 Turbo, an upgraded image-to-video and video editing model, crowned AI Tool of the Month by one industry roundup. It's built for speed, faster motion generation and background keying, helping creators churn out shorts and ads without a traditional studio. Notion AI 3.0, a workspace assistant described as genome-like automation for your documents and tasks. It can summarize meetings, draft project plans, and rewire workflows inside the app so teams spend less time on admin and more time pretending to be creative. HubSpot Chatflows AI, a business-oriented chatbot layer that automates parts of sales and customer support, routing leads and answering questions 24/7.
On the content side, Adobe Firefly Image 4 emerged as a favorite for text-accurate graphics, helping designers generate images that actually match the brand copy, logos, fonts, and layouts included. For image-driven storytelling, that means fewer three-handed people and more usable shots out of the box.
In audio, 11 Labs Voice Engine 3.0 added finer grain controls for pacing and emotion, plus major improvements for Hindi and English voices. That matters for global creators who want synthetic narration that doesn't sound like a GPS from 2009.
Video creators got even more toys. New tools for face animation, 3D asset creation, video cleanup, and ultra-fast editing hit the market this month, giving indie filmmakers and YouTubers access to pipelines that used to require full production teams. Runway's turbo keying for video background removal is one example, delivering cleaner cuts for people who record in less than perfect studios.
And then there's the design without design school category. Canva rolled out features like AI-style importers that clone the aesthetic of an uploaded image, and updated tools such as Magic Morph 2.0, making it easier for beginners to produce consistent brand visuals.
The pattern is clear. These tools don't just replace old software, they automate the annoying 80% of creative work, drafting, recutting, cleanup, so humans can focus on the final 20% where taste, judgment, and, yes, occasional bad decisions still matter.
Of course, humans being humans, some will use this power to launch brilliant businesses, others to make memes at 4 in the morning. Either way, AI tools are now shaping what you see, hear, and click on across the internet.
After the break, we'll move from tools to breakthroughs, AI systems that aren't just helping with tasks, but pushing the frontiers of science and engineering themselves.
Welcome back to the AI Report. Let's talk breakthroughs, the kind that change how chips are built, equations are solved, and scientific discoveries are made.
First up, semiconductor manufacturing. Researchers at Purdue University unveiled Raptor, an AI-powered defect detection system that combines high-resolution X-ray imaging with machine learning to spot microscopic faults in chips. It reportedly achieves about 97.6% accuracy, beating traditional inspection methods and offering a non-destructive way to catch problems before the chips ship.
That might sound niche, but in an era where every nanometer counts, missing defects can cost billions in lost yield. By automating and improving inspection, AI could make chips more reliable and cheaper, with ripple effects across phones, data centers, cars, and, yes, your smart toaster.
Next, the rise of the AI scientist. A research collaboration involving Edison Scientific, Oxford, and partners introduced a system called Cosmos designed as an AI scientist for autonomous discovery. Given an objective and access to data, it runs for up to 12 hours, cycling through data analysis, literature search, hypothesis generation, and evaluation.
By iterating at machine speed, such systems could drastically shorten the time between posing a scientific question and getting a plausible answer. They also raise new questions: who gets credit for a discovery when an AI did the heavy lifting, and how do we check its work?
Over in mathematical reasoning, a project called DeepSeek Math V2 introduced an approach to self-verifiable math proofs. Instead of just rewarding a model for the right final answer, researchers trained a verifier model to inspect natural language proofs, spot errors, and guide the training of a separate proof generation model.
This kind of AI that critiques AI is key to making models more trustworthy in domains where correctness actually matters. Humans may be comfortable with fuzzy essays, but they generally prefer their bridges, rockets, and medical dosages to be mathematically sound.
Finally, in 3D vision, a system known as SAM3D can reconstruct 3D objects from a single image by combining synthetic pre-training with real-world alignment. That could accelerate everything from robotics and AR/VR design to e-commerce product visualization and digital twins.
Put together, these breakthroughs show AI stepping out of the role of smart assistant and into the role of collaborating researcher handling tasks that are too tedious, too complex, or too data-heavy for humans alone.
Of course, all this depends on one crucial ingredient: data. And that brings us to our next story. What happens when the internet runs out of fresh fuel for AI?
The next big AI story isn't about models or tools, it's about training data. Analysts warn that the supply of high-quality human-generated content used to train big models is shrinking. After years of scraping the open web, companies are bumping into hard limits: legal, ethical, and practical.
A World Economic Forum report recently laid this out. The vast well of data that powered the last wave of AI breakthroughs is running low. If you keep training on the same data, models overfit and stop improving. If you keep scraping without permission, you run into lawsuits and public backlash.
One proposed solution is synthetic data content generated by AIs to train other AIs, combined with carefully curated human data. That can help cover underrepresented languages, edge cases, and specialized domains, while reducing the need to hoover up every human blog post in existence.
But synthetic data comes with its own risks. If models train mainly on outputs from other models, you get feedback loops, a kind of AI inbreeding that can entrench biases and errors. Researchers are experimenting with safeguards, such as tracking provenance and mixing in verified real-world data.
For listeners, the key takeaway is this: the AI boom is not just a story about compute and algorithms, it's also about who controls the data and under what terms. Expect more debates about licensing, artist compensation, and the line between fair use and exploitation.
Coming up, governments weigh in with new investments and policies, and we look at how AI is reshaping work across industries, from software and science to business operations.
In Washington and beyond, policymakers spent 2025 trying to catch up with the AI curve. One major move: the United States Department of Energy announced over $320 million in investments to accelerate AI for science under the Genesis Mission Initiative. The goal is to pair advanced AI with high-performance computing to tackle complex scientific problems faster.
These investments aim to improve everything from climate modeling and materials science to fusion research and biology, using AI to find patterns and simulate systems that would be impossible to model by hand.
On the industrial side, a summary of 2025's AI news from multiple sources highlighted that AI is now embedded in manufacturing, logistics, finance, healthcare, and media, not as pilot projects but as core infrastructure. Many organizations, however, are still struggling to turn pilot enthusiasm into measurable productivity gains.
A recent analysis from MIT Technology Review described 2025 as a hype correction year. While expectations for AI were sky high, surveys showed that adoption and ROI were more modest, with many firms stuck in experimentation mode rather than full deployment.
That's not necessarily bad news. It means businesses are discovering where AI truly helps, and where it's just expensive glitter. Use cases that clearly add value, like defect detection in chips, predictive maintenance, customer support, and coding assistance, are moving ahead fastest.
And as AI systems become more central, a new market has emerged: AI observability tools that monitor model performance, drift, bias, and reliability in real time. Think of them as DevOps for AI, necessary when your critical decisions depend on models you can't fully see inside.
Thank you, Artie. Need last-minute gifts? Amazon has same-day/next-day delivery on eligible items, digital gift cards, and deals on electronics, beauty, and apparel. Shop at Amazon.com. For Artie Intel and the AI Report, I'm Micheline Learning.